Have you ever wondered what the difference is between speech, language, and communication, and why it matters so much for multilinguals? If you're raising multilingual children, understanding these terms can help you support their development and address any challenges. Let's start with speech. Speech is the physical production of sounds. It's about how we articulate sounds, create rhythm, and maintain voice quality. When we focus on speech development in our multilingual children, we consider articulation. So can they produce sounds clearly across all their languages? Can they differentiate between the e sounds in French, e, for example, or the r sound in Italian and the r sound in French and r in English? We also consider their fluency. Are they able to speak smoothly in each language without hesitations? And we focus on voice quality. Does their voice sound age-appropriate and understandable in each of their languages? Do they produce their individual, distinctive tone of speech sounds in an intelligible way? Multilingual children are exposed to a broader range of phonological variations and systems, and it is obvious that to figure out how sounds are articulated and used, whether they are similar or not across their languages, they need a lot of exposure and practice. What is important to know is that some sounds are easier to articulate than others. Most vowel sounds are the first ones to be produced, as well as the occlusive consonant sounds like t, p, k, or the nasal sound of m, like in mama. Sounds like ch, ng, r, on the other hand, require more practice. So our children need more time to perfectionate their articulations. There are many definitions and theories about what language is. We can consider language as a system, a set of rules that allows us to create and share meaning. Every language and their dialects, whether it's German, French, Chinese, Arabic, or English, has its own symbols, which can include spoken or written words and gestures. Multilinguals navigate multiple language systems, each with unique rules for phonology, which is about the sounds of a language and the rules for combining them. Multilinguals often navigate different sound systems which can influence their pronunciation in each language. For instance, a French-speaking child learning English might initially say this instead of this, reflecting the absence of the English the sound in French. Similarly, a child who uses Japanese and is learning English may simplify English consonant clusters like spring to supuringu, as Japanese syllable structures prefer the consonant-vowel structure and avoids clusters, and words rarely end in consonants, exceptions made for the final nasal sound n. Such adjustments show how multilinguals adapt and balance varying phonological systems. Now there's also morphology, which is all about how words are formed. In English, friend is the noun, friendly the adjective, and by adding a final s to car, we can form the plural cars. A Swiss German-speaking child might say Hüsli, and when switching to English create Hausli, which isn't standard but shows that they are applying linguistic rules across languages. Syntax, then, is the way words are arranged to form grammatically correct sentences, like the English Lisa eats the pasta, which follows the SVO or subject-verb-object sequence. The verb comes in second position, whereas a sentence like pasta Lisa eats is incorrect in English, but grammatically correct in Korean, Basque, Persian, Turkish, all languages where the verb comes at the end of the sentence. Now, semantics deal with the meanings of words and how they can change depending on the context. For example, the word bank in English can refer to the edge of a river, riverbank, or a financial institution. In German, Bank can also have multiple meanings but refers to bench or a financial institution. In Dutch, Bank has the same meaning as in German but can also have the meaning of sofa. Pragmatics is now how we use language in different contexts to convey meaning beyond the literal words. For example, if in English we say, "Can you close the window?" it is understood as a polite request, not a question about the ability to close the window. In Japanese, politeness levels are encoded into language, so the same request might vary significantly depending on who you are speaking to. Mado wa kute kudasai for the more formal one. Mado wa kete kureru for the less formal one. Multilinguals fluent in Japanese and English must adjust not only their words but also their level of politeness to fit the cultural context of each language. Now, language does not require speech. For example, sign languages are rich, fully developed languages with their own rules, but they don't involve vocal sounds. What is fascinating is that multilingual children build separate but connected systems for each language they speak, and these systems can but don't have to necessarily influence each other. Communication is now broader than both speech and language. It's the process of sharing a message to establish understanding. And here's the key. You don't need speech or even shared language to communicate. Multilinguals, especially when learning new languages, rely heavily on gestures, like waving, pointing, or miming to express meaning. Facial expressions are a universal tool that transcends language barriers. And code switching and mixing. That's to say, using words from different languages depending on who they are talking with or in the same sentence to ensure they're understood. For example, a child might say, "Can you pass me the pane?" mixing Italian and English because pane might come more easily to them in the moment, or they use it more frequently in Italian than in English. This is a natural part of multilingual development. I link to a video and a post about this in the description. Communication is always the goal. Whether a child uses speech, sign language, gestures, or even pictures, what matters is their ability to connect with others and convey meanings. As multilinguals, we are very resourceful communicators. We can use all the tools we have, speech, language, and non-verbal cues, and this in various languages to make ourselves understood. So to summarize, speech is about how we produce sounds. Language is about what we say, the system of rules and meaning, the system we use to express ideas. And communication is about connecting with others to share thoughts, needs, and meaning in general. Speech and language are tools, whereas communication is the ultimate purpose. It's how we build relationships and how we connect. Thank you very much for watching, and if you found this video helpful, please share and subscribe for more tips on raising multilingual children.